So before I tell you guys specifically about infestation, I want to talk to you guys about this, the spiritual movement. The spiritual movement was a movement started in the 19th century in Europe and America, and this belief that the living could contact the dead. The spiritualists, the people who would want to contact the dead, used mediums, which are people who have sensitivity to hearing spirits. Modern spiritualism points to ancient accounts of such practices, one account being the witch of Endor, which conjured the spirit of the prophet Samuel, and 1 Samuel 28. They even point to Transfiguration, when Elijah and Moses are conversating with Jesus. In the years following, both Catholic and Protestant churches released anti-spiritualist literature, and by the end of the 19th century, significant efforts were made to verify the phenomena of mediumship. These efforts led to many mediums being discovered to be frauds employing magician techniques. Professional magicians such as Harry Houdini worked to expose mediums and spiritualists. However, mediums are real, just not as abundant as they claim to be, which is why I also warned, and also all of Christianity warns, to avoid fortune tellers, palm readers, and all the stuff like that. First, let me address these principles before I explain further. Spirits operate under rules permitted by God. Demons can enter through a person's free will via the person forming a relationship with the demon, and spiritual problems are experiences permitted for growth. A blessed object is an item that has received the grace to do the owner of the possession good, and a cursed object is the opposite. A demon has rather been attached unto the object to do the person harm. Yet there is a difference between an object suffering infestation and a demon-infested object. Infestations are when a demon or demons have attained the right to manipulate items and manifest themselves or itself in a specific area. Side effects of infestations can be physical attacks to intimidate exorcists, but are usually disappearance of objects, furniture moving, or levitating, paintings falling, or unexplainable noises. Since demons are fallen angels, they have the ability permitted by God to enact in the physical universe, which is limited, of course, yet can be strengthened as a consequence of sin, which places people as responsible for infestations. Okay, so I kind of lied. You can't really get rid of them on your own.
Wow.
So if you are being infested by one, and they say,
bullets cannot harm,
they're actually surprisingly telling you the truth. Because I've tried this method, and it does not work. So let's hit rewind on the camera, and let me explain to you how we ended up in this situation in the first place.
I must study his lessons.
Yeah, I hope you do this the entire point of this video.
Drive the other nail in and hang him up.
And there are 3 ways that you have a demon in your house, how it's gotten there. The first being you or someone in the past has brought a cursed object into the home you now live in. Often they're completely mundane and appear harmless.
I have a knife and I'm dangerous.
But after bringing the object into your home, manifestations and manipulation will appear. You, the victim... Wait, that's not you. Hold on. Okay, so you, the victim, your usual instinct, is to get rid of the item however you see fit. Yet this method does not always work. And if it does not work, an exorcism and blessing must be performed. The second way being black magic and the occult. If the demon has already been cursed onto an object, usually as a consequence of divination, being that like tarot, Ouija boards, etc., stuff like that, and casting spells,
we love casting spells.
then infestation will not end until exorcism, quitting black magic and occultism, and finally blessing. People use black magic and divination in a time of desperation away from the church and away from God entirely to still be spiritual, at least to feel spiritual and to feel in control. In the circumstance they do return back to the church, true repentance must be made for the violation of the first commandment, that being have no other gods except for me, and also another commandment being don't seek mediums, seen in Leviticus, which I'm about to put on the screen. The person must essentially be rehabilitated back to Christ, receiving Holy Communion, going to confession, and other sacramental graces and charitable works. However, due to the infestation being untreated for some time, the person who is afflicted can result in possession. This needs to immediately be referred to the diocese. So if you're watching this to diagnose whether or not you are being haunted by a demon, I recommend that you notify your parish priest, and also secondly, that you do more research on your symptoms, because it is a hard diagnosis. Something you see in the corner of your eye can just be the dog, or something you hear can just be literally the house resting. So I do recommend that you, not that essentially you wait for more symptoms, but that you analyze them more and that you put more thought into them. Secondly, I'd like to say that we only have 2 more videos for the series, oppression and possession. Next will be oppression. And lastly, if none of these tips or anything that I've said has helped, all I can recommend is that you just attempt to blast it again.